And we're live.
Woo!
All right.
Oh yes.
All right. So we are talking rule changes and the rules
Oh yeah.
that we would like to change. So we're gonna
baseball
give-
rules.
Baseball
These
rules.
are baseball rules.
Baseball rules. So just one rule that you would like to change in baseball. But before we get into that, we should talk about the rule changes that are coming up. And this is going to be in a couple of years. The one is there's going to be a new mound or a new pitching change, I think, for relief pitchers,
Yep.
where you either have to end the inning or pitch to 3 batters,
Yes.
which is completely stupid. I don't really get this. I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to speed up the game, whatever. This is just total bullshit, though.
How's it going to speed up the game, really?
They're saying there's going to be less pitching changes, but I don't know that there is. There's just going to be more bad pitching followed by a pitching change.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, you got to face 3 batters, but you give up 3 hits and then you change pitchers.
Yeah.
And now the game's tied again, and we've got more innings or we've got more time being spent playing. It also, to me, like the thing, and people have gone on and on about this. So, like, you could listen around, and a lot of people talk about, like, people are going to fake injuries. They're going to walk more people to get around this. They're going to do all kinds of different shit to not have to adhere to this rule. The thing that bothers me the most about this is that right now we have some really good pitchers that have fantastic splits, right? These like left-handed one-out guys, loogies that you hear about. Or there's on the right-hand side too, right? So you have these guys, and they're good at that. And so they're way better than a normal pitcher that you would put in. So to fill out your roster in a world where that's not an option, you're going to take pitchers that maybe pitch better to both hands, but are not the actual better pitcher. So you're putting worse players into the major leagues. That's what you're asking for with this. Well, I mean, it's
On the pitching side, at least.
Yeah.
obviously what you're going to do. So you're making pitching worse is the goal of this.
Right. What they're doing is
unintentionally.
they're trading out the specialist on the pitching side for the specialist on the hitting side. So what they're going to do is say, okay, no more loogies. You won't carry a loogie. And so when you bring that right-handed pitcher in that's got to face 3 batters, you're going to have the left-handed hitting specialist on the bench that you're going to bring in and use in those high leverage spots.
Right.
So they're flipping out some run prevention for run scoring.
Yeah.
That's what the choice they're making effectively here. Or they're asking teams to select pitchers that don't have that one unique specialty and can pitch for a little bit longer period. This is sort of pushing it back to the era when you had 9 or 10 pitchers, not when you had 13 pitchers out of a 25-man roster. And they're trying to select more for, hey, have some bench hitters on the bench. I don't know if it has to do with earning power or what the reason is. I'm not exactly sure what it's leading into, but there's some reason why they want to do this. Pace of play has something to do with it, but I agree with My Sox Summer. If the scoring environment goes up, you're not shortening the game at all. Like, the game's going to last just as fucking long.
Keep getting hits.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
They'll
keeps
be big
going.
base runners. Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's not going to matter.
I don't know if that was like my exact thought, but that sounds really good. So let's just let's just go with that.
But you're totally right. It's not gonna shorten the game at all until there's sort of an equilibrium. Like, you choose for enough pitchers that are effective enough they can also handle this role, which right now we don't have.
Right, and I just like I think the example, like we were talking about this earlier, and my example was you're trading out like the Neil Cott and the Cliff Polite and going, give me DJ Carrasco.
Yeah.
instead. That is what I want instead. And like, think about that when you're thinking about a baseball team and go, is that what you want? Do you want 2 DJ Carrascos instead of a Neil Cott and a Cliff Polite? Like that's what this rule is asking for.
You're
begging for that.
You're right. You're junking those 2 guys to select for that pitcher, and then on the hitting side, you're selecting some left-handed hitter that's a good hitter that can't do much else.
Right.
You're someone who maybe is stuck in a corner outfield who can't really play it, or DH spot. But if you're in the NL, you have no DH. Those are the positions you're shuffling. It has to be minuscule as far as like pace of play. I couldn't imagine it shaves 30 seconds off a game long term.
No, I think it might make games longer.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Yeah, because and what's going to be awful is like you see a guy go in, right? And we see this every year, right? A guy goes in and he looks like shit immediately,
Yeah.
right? And
Carson
then
Fulmer, maybe.
and then as a fan, you want to see a reaction out of your manager, right?
Get him the fuck out of there.
Like you know what? He's paying attention. He sees this guy's he doesn't have it. Let's get him the fuck out. Now that guy, the manager, just sits on his hands. It's someone else's fault. It makes even managing stupid. Like it takes more strategy out of the game. And
That
it's
guy's got to eat it. Yeah.
not my fault. That guy sucks, and I can't do anything about it. Rules is rules.
But it could potentially make the manager think about a decision more than just like, hey, left on left, crime here. Let's bring in the guy for the next two batters, not necessarily the first batter.
Sure. So
it could potentially could do that.
So you know what you get then?
What?
More
DJ
broke ass
Krause?
arm Nate Jones, right? Like you get more guys way overused.
Potentially, like your third reliever instead of throwing 60 innings is going to throw 75.
Yeah,
because you got to use him more. You're not going to trust the other guy.
God forbid that guy falls off 17 foul balls. You're just like, oh fuck. No.
One of the things that
and that's a good point though, because like aren't you like if you're a hitter and you know now that this guy pitched yesterday, he had to pitch to 3 batters, he ended up pitching to 5 batters. Aren't you going to be more patient, going I'm going to work this guy for pitches because I know he's probably already tired.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to work him because he's got 2 more of my guys coming after. And like you work that guy for pitches, that takes way longer than a lefty coming in, getting the guy ground out, and then coming out, and then a righty coming in and doing the same. Like you didn't save any time; you made it longer.
Well, it's a good thing Mariano Rivera got the first, unanimous vote because it will never happen again. Because now Mario would have to face 3 people. He couldn't just come in and just get 3 people or 2.
Well, no, because he can because he would be ending the game.
That's true. You're right. You're right.
Now, one rule that did come about that is going to take place, it will change the pace of the game, is shortening the commercial timeouts. I don't know if you saw that, Treasy.
So I like that.
That's a good rule, in my personal opinion, as well.
I like that, and we had talked about this before too. Like because really the shaving down of the game is the TV experience, because they don't care about the fan in the park, because shit, you're in the park, you're having a good time, you don't care. You're drinking beers, fantastic. They're trying to keep the attention of the people at home, right? So like one thing you could do, which we've talked about before, is make the game actually from 7 to whenever, instead of having talking heads on for the first 10 minutes, just talking bullshit, right? Because game's on at 7, I'm going to turn it on at 7, and it's like, oh shit, I forgot. These guys talk for 10 minutes about nothing. Yeah. So I think you could cut that off. You could cut the commercials down. You could do more in-game advertising.
Totally agree.
And the game's way shorter. That's truly shortening the game without changing any rules.
And it's just all gameplay.
The telecast goes from 3 hours and 15 minutes to 3 hours by doing something like that.
Yep.
It truly does shorten the game, and it doesn't really affect the game. Right? It's a little less time in between innings, but I don't know that players even care about that. It's not. Sure. It's not like they take a quick nap during that time. So I think that would be valuable.
This Yonder Alonso bat is brought to you by Rolaids. When you need relief and you just can't get it.
When you don't have a friend to go in the car, give me some relief. So, but with the original question, which we got really far away from very quickly,
hand job.
Was what one rule would you change if you could change a rule in Major League Baseball? So, and my suck summer, I'm going to go to you first while you're laughing about hand jobs.
I'm laughing about my response because I didn't take it seriously, and I hope that this is. Is this?
You guys need another one. So, I'm going to go off camera.
You know what? Okay. Fuck it. Let's do another one. Right. Was it add a rule or change a rule that's existing?
Whatever you want.
Adding
much like Fleur de Lis, whatever you desire.
I wanted to add a rule, and it is based on the Revenge of the Nerds bike race.
Oh,
Okay.
I don't remember that, but go.
So okay, you remember
tell me
that? Like,
about
so remember they had those it was like the Greek games,
Yeah.
and they had to do the bike race. And it was
Okay.
like after you got after lap 1, you chugged a beer.
Oh, okay.
And then if you got to lap 2, you chugged a beer, and you just kept going, right? And then Poindexter had made a pill that reversed all the alcohol effects, so the guy wouldn't get drunk. So the little Asian guy is riding around at the end, and everyone's falling over, and he's totally fine, and they play some racist Asian song. I want to
Sounds
do.
very
Sounds
80s.
wonderful.
You make it to first, you chug a beer. Okay, and you get a hit, you got to chug. Okay.
Okay.
If you strike out, you have to chug a beer. On the opposite side, because we're in the American League, the pitcher, if he strikes somebody out, he has to chug a beer too. So
I like this.
we got some beers chugging going on here, and it's loosely based on Revenge of the Nerds, but then also most softball games that Slim McBain plays. So you got all these fines, chug beers.
In this league that you've come up with,
Yeah.
Wade Boggs is a manager.
Oh, dude, Wade
Player
Boggs.
coach. He's got
Or
to
is he
be
the
player coach.
commissioner?
He is the all-time legend in the Nerds rules baseball.
I'm
Chugging
in.
beers, maybe have some chicken wings.
The thing is, you're addressing a problem here, though, because part of the MLB's problem is less pace of play, more like put the ball in play a little bit more, and you can kind of see the action. So the pitcher will not want to strike out as many people.
Right.
He won't want to get so fucked up.
Or-
if he's got 8 Ks in 3 innings, he's going to be hammered out there. He'll have to come out of the game.
Unless it's David Wells,
That's true.
then he will strike out. He'll strike out 20 a game.
You still got to go for 3 batters, though.
That's no
That
question,
he has to-
You're not changing that rule.
Not changing
No,
that. That
that's
is
insane.
that's steadfast.
Beefloaf, what do you got?
Something that I believe exists in 16-inch softball, but I think should exist in major leagues, and it's been a long time coming. They should have re-entry for one situation in baseball. So you can have a 1 re-entry for the entire game in Major League Baseball. Think about it this way. Bottom of the 3rd, you got bases loaded, 1 out situation, and you got your worst hitter up, let's say, or bottom of the 2nd or whatever. And you got the 9th place hitter up who's a terrible hitter, but he's a great defender. He's like Larry Boa, shortstop type guy, but he has like a 500 OPS. Okay, you could bring in your big stick off the bench to hit in that spot in the early innings, and then you can, after he hits, you could reflip them and let the defender go back into the game
Okay.
and not have to worry about it. Okay, so have 1 re-entry per team per game. So when a high leverage spot comes up and you got a shitty hitter up there, you can flip them out. And you can add a hitter back in there that matters and get them the fuck back out of the game later. Now, the hitter would be burned, but the players starting the spot, go back out, play defense, back to their same spot in the batting order.
I feel like we could use this for our center fielder a lot.
There's no question.
Because Adam can play hella good center field. He just can't really hit for shit. And
When he
especially
comes
late
up.
in the game, let's give him a break and let's let little DP come in there. Maybe go for defense.
It's going to have you
know?
adding a guy to your roster. It's going to do what the 3 batter rule wants you to do, but you'll have a real incentive to do it. It'll have you adding like Brad Hawk to your roster.
Yeah.
A guy who you know can hit, but can't fucking do much else. Or
Yeah.
like how Robbie Grossman really doesn't have a job, but like he gets on base like a motherfucker. You would add that guy. You know, the bad teams would hold this spot until the 9th inning. Regardless, the good teams would use it in high leverage and figure out ways to gain an advantage for it. But I think it's something that if baseball added it, it would add a level of excitement throughout the game because you don't know when you're going to use that spot. It might be the 5th inning and some shit happens, and then you're like, "Fuck it, I'm using it right now. I'm going to put this pinch hitter in,
Yeah.
and we're gonna gamble here and try to get some runs here
I like it.
It should be like a flag. You have to throw a flag out to use.
to say we're doing it right now."
And then,
Actually, you
like-
would do it later though because you'd put the pinch hitter in. But everyone would probably know, right? You put the big hulking pinch hitter in there for the tiny shortstop, and you know that guy's not going to play shortstop. You know this is getting flipped back out, but still.
So I'm thinking we throw the flag out up in the booth. They kickstart my heart for Ken WO. And then they bring out a guy and they're like, and now batting for Adam Engel. Daniel Polka. And then it's
Exactly.
like, yo, yeah, Kicks on my heart. You know, that's how that shit goes.
So
Then we win the game.
I had a couple ideas, and I was thinking through them, and I was thinking maybe expand the rosters. We've talked about expanding the rosters before, and I thought, what'd be kind of cool is like a second DH, right? So like you have a guy like Adam Engel, like he's now valuable because now you've got another DH that you put in his place, so he's just a designated fielder, right? Like just like a pitcher, right? So he only does the one thing. He does, and he could be just fantastic at that, and then someone else hits for him. Right, I thought about that, but then I thought, man, what would actually enhance our game experience? What would be best for us? And I thought of a rule that the MLB put in, and I mean, I get why they put it in because some dude got beat to within an inch of his life, or maybe even killed, but that doesn't reflect on the whole community of baseball fans. And I think we should go back to being able to buy beer for the whole game.
Oh, absolutely.
You gotta like
9 innings of buying beer.
Yeah, because here's the thing.
I gotta get another jab.
Here's the thing. No, you don't. You don't.
You don't.
You know why? Because everyone buys the same amount of beer that they would for 9 innings.
It's true.
They just
Might be true.
buy a whole shitload of it at the end of the 7th inning, right?
Because they know they won't be able to buy it again.
And I don't know if you guys know about this. I'm gonna get a little sciencey right now.
All right.
In the summer, it gets real fucking hot. So, like, you have a bunch of beers sitting on the hot cement, they get warm,
They do.
which is stupid. So I don't want that. So I want to just be able to buy another cold beer, 30 minutes later.
Another thing about that is the vendors will make more tips
Oh, hell yeah.
because you're getting that bigger round.
Yeah, it's a smaller tip. It's a smaller tip
It's a
because you're
smaller
not
tip
paying
per
for
beer, right?
Yeah.
It's small.
Yeah.
If you had to do the round separate, they'd get more tip.
Yeah.
So everyone makes out in this. I don't
I'm
understand why it doesn't happen.
Definitely tipping just as much on 5 as I am on 15.
Oh, there's no question.
Yeah.
There's no question.
And it's
getting
not
a fin.
It's not
It's getting a
truly the
fin,
rule
and that's
either,
where it goes.
right? Because you could go down to the craft cave and go get a beer, right? It's not like beer just.
It's not like you're totally closed out.
And it's not like the game goes till 2 a.m. and it's like, hey, it's just last call in the city. Like you can't have beer now. Like no, it's. By the way, last calls are stupid too. And it's a
Vegas has proved that it's not.
It's a fucking proven fact that you shouldn't do like a 2 a.m. Like think about what you're doing at 2 a.m. You're going, let me find all the drunkest people and throw them in the street all at once.
Yep.
And not to mention, someone
It's kinda
yells
dumb.
last call at like 1:30, and guess what happens? A bunch of people do a shitload of shots and buy a bunch of beers.
Of course.
And then at 2, they go out into the street. Great.
Because it takes about a half hour to 45 minutes for any of that alcohol to start kicking in.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And then
We've all been
That's
there.
when you really get liquored up.
and by then, you're all commingling at the 4 a.m. bar, which is
Top
this is just where all the good ideas happen.
Ooh.
no question.
So yeah, I mean, like I think having that stupid like 7th inning last call is ridiculous. I mean, I get why they reacted and did that, but it didn't change anything. Like it's not like everyone walks out of the game now like sober and fresh. Like the guy who stopped drinking in the 7th inning just a tip to everybody. You're not okay to drive. Okay? Like so don't fucking do it, right? Like so you're not sober now. It's
I'll
been
tell you what,
42 minutes.
Treasy. At Sox Park, they stopped selling out of the 7th. But at Wrigley Field, they're walking around selling in the 8th inning.
Yeah, I mean they're not supposed to, right? Though I mean,
But
like,
they do.
I'm just
they
saying.
do every game.
I'm just saying, like it shouldn't. They shouldn't have to break the rules to do that.
Right. It's
Right.
dumb.
Right.
That is a rule.
Yeah.
There's no question.
It's a stupid rule. I get why it happened, right? I totally understand it, and I'm not saying that what happened there was right. I'm just saying that those two things aren't necessarily connected. Like if
They're not mutually
if those
exclusive.
fucking maniacs had an inning and a half of sobriety over whatever 15-hour binge they were probably on, do you really think they would have been like, you know what? This is a bad idea, guys. Let's just walk away. Like, no, if they were going to do that
Absolutely
shit no
not.
matter what. So, like, to blame it on the last beer of the game is fucking insanity.
Right.
So, I that's the rule that I would get rid of because it's a stupid fucking rule.
We've drank a lot and never killed anybody.
Yeah,
That's correct.
And actually never even gotten in a fight.
we have never
Well, not
been.
yet. Not yet.
No. Yeah.
We've never been in a fight other than verbal altercations between me and Beef Loaf about mundane facts after the game.
That's correct.
Like,
And
which one of us is a bigger Bernie Mac fan, right? That we definitely argued about something like that,
Tracy,
but it didn't come to blows.
You and I almost died laughing when my Sox number couldn't get into Shy Sox box. We almost succumbed to our laughter and died right there.
But then I did.
Then you made it in.
You're like, oh shit!
You sneaking in was only more hilarious.
It's an all-time 108 event.
Stepping over the wall.
You would have killed, like, all the hyenas at the end of Who Framed Roger Rabbit would have died watching that.
Yes.
They had no chance.
It was just hold on one sec, because you guys are giving me the what's the gives, and I'm like, just give me 1 minute, I'll get in there.
For those of you that don't know this story, I'm going to quickly tell it right before we end. So
There's a picture.
This will be the last of it. But so we went to Shy Sox after a game, and I saw my Sox Summer walking up, and the security guards asked him something, and he took 3 steps back, like he was dancing, and we're like, what's he doing? And a moment later, he just walked away, and we're like, oh, he left. All right, well, that's whatever. And we see him over on the side of the bar, because the whole thing's outside on the patio. And we're like, what's up, man? And he just gives us 1 second, and then he flips over the side, like where the foliage is. It's insanely poor, like flipping of a little garden.
Yeah, it's not very wide. It's only this way.
Right, and you nearly trampled every piece of it. Like
I didn't trample anything. It was
and then you came over to us, and you're like, you know what that guy told me? He told me I'm too drunk to come in here. He was right. But nevertheless,
he was 100% right. And I did something wrong. But the picture that we circulate with you with the bag on your head,
that was from that game.
You going, and then me going, that is that exact day.
That is the same day.
And I swear to God, I think I've said this on the Twitter. I went down to meet a friend. I could not find a friend. I had 2 unsessionables, which are like 11%. I drank those, and then I drank 2 other beers that I brought with, because I was like, well, fuck it, now I got to go in. I drank these all within 35, 40 minutes. And then I found the friend, and we drank a couple Miller Lights, shotgun 4 Miller Lights, and then we went into the park, and we're sitting there, and I remember going, I am really fucking hammered, and then looking up at the scoreboard, and I go, it's the 3rd inning, and I'm like, I am fucked. So it was, and then you guys happen to be drunk on the whole other side, unbeknownst to me, you guys were extremely intoxicated also, and we were just all extremely intoxicated.
We were next level drunk that day.
But not that drunk not to get into Shy Sox.
You know what it was? We weren't trying to do much. You were trying to do a couple things. You were trying to have a cigarette.
Going,
you had a backpack.
Yeah.
You were trying to talk to the security guard.
Yeah.
All I was trying to do was get to that table.
We were strolling.
I saw the table. I focused on it, and I said, all I need to do is get over to that table.
Yeah.
And I can sit, and I can drink more beers.
I remember that the security guard's look of disgust, just looking at me going, you can't come in here. You're drunk. And I remember thinking in my head, because this does not happen very often, going, this motherfucker has no idea what he's talking about. I'm not that intoxicated. And then I get in there, and then later I'm like, oh,
why won't he let me bring this Little Caesars pizza in?
No, that's a whole different story. Those motherfuckers.
All right, that's about it for tonight. We're gonna end this one, and we'll talk to you guys very, very soon. Check out our podcast from
Buy
tonight.
some gear.
It should be up actually now, so go check it out.
Peace.
Later.